Let us ask this elder to subdue the monster and rescue our princess. This is our safest policy." When the king heard these words, he turned quickly to Tripitaka and said, "Elder, if you have the ability to release your Dharma power and catch the monster so that my child can return to the court, you need not go worship Buddha in the West. You can let your hair grow again, for we will become bond brothers with you. You may sit on the dragon couch with us and enjoy our riches together. How about it?" "This poor monk," said Tripitaka hurriedly, "knows a little of chanting the name of Buddha, but truly he does not know how to subdue monsters." "If you don't," said the king, "how dare you go seek Buddha in the Western heaven?" No longer able to hide the truth, the elder had to mention his two disciples. "Your Majesty," he said, "your poor monk would find it very difficult indeed to come here if he were all by himself. I have, however, two disciples most capable of opening up a pathway in the mountains and building bridges when we come upon the rivers. They have accompanied me here." "You are an insensitive monk," said the king, chiding him. "If you have disciples, why did you not bring them to see us also? When they enter my court, even if we had no intention to reward them, we could provide at least some food." Tripitaka said, "The disciples of this poor monk are rather ugly in their appearances, and they dare not enter the court without permission. For I fear that they might cause too great a shock to your Majesty. Look at how this monk talks," said the king with a laugh. "Do you think really that we'll be afraid of them?" "It's hard to tell," said Tripitaka. "My elder disciple has the surname of Ju, and his given names are Wu Nen and 8 Rules. He has a long snout and fang-like teeth, tough bristles on the back of his head, and huge, fan-like ears. He is coarse and husky, and he causes even the wind to rise when he walks. My second disciple has the surname of Sha, and his religious names are Wu Jing and Monk. He is 12 feet tall and 3 span wide across his shoulders. His face is like indigo, his mouth a butcher's bowl. His eyes gleam and his teeth seem a row of nails. With looks like those, how could they dare enter the court without permission? Since you have now given them a thorough description," said the king, "we wouldn't be afraid of them. Summon them in." He then gave the order that an invitation by a golden plaque should be sent at once to the post house. When Idiot saw the invitation, he said to Sha Monk, "Brother, you were saying previously that we should perhaps not deliver that letter. Now you can see what benefits delivering that letter can bring. It must be that after Master had delivered the letter, the king said that a messenger should not be lightly treated and insisted on giving a banquet for him. He has no stomach for that sort of thing, but at least he's considerate toward the two of us by mentioning our names. That's why a golden plaque has been sent to invite us. Let's go and have a good meal then, and we can leave tomorrow." "Elder brother," said Sha Monk, "we still don't know the true reason for this. Let's go and find out." They therefore turned over the luggage and the horse to the care of the post-house master. Taking their weapons with them, they followed the golden plaque into court and went before the white jade steps. Standing on the left and on the right, they made one bow and then remained erect without moving again. Every member of those civil and military officials was deeply shaken. "These two monks," they said, "are not only ugly, they are downright uncouth. How could they see our king and not prostrate themselves? After one bow, they just stand there and remain erect. It's preposterous. It's preposterous." 8 Rules heard this and he said, "Don't complain, all of you. That's how we are. At first glance, we may appear ugly, but after a while, you'll get used to us." When the king saw how hideous they were, he was immediately frightened. By the time he heard what Idiot had said, he was shaking so hard that he fell down from his dragon couch. Fortunately, there were attendants nearby who took hold of him and helped him up. The Tang monk was so terrified that he knelt before the court and kowtowed without ceasing, saying, "Your Majesty, this monk deserves 10,000 deaths, 10,000 deaths. I said that my disciples were ugly, and that they should not be granted an audience, because it might injure your dragon body. Now, they have indeed alarmed the throne." Still trembling, the king went forward to raise up the priest, saying, "Elder, it's a good thing that you told me about them before. If you hadn't, the sudden sight of them would have scared me to death." After he had calmed down, the king said, "Elder Jew and Elder Shah, which one of you is good at subduing monsters?" Foolishly Idiot answered, "Old Hog knows how." "In what way?" asked the king. "I am the marshal of the heavenly reeds," said 8 Rules. "Because I transgressed heaven's decree, I fell to the region below where luckily I could embrace the truth and become a monk. Since our journey from the land of the east, I have been the one most capable of subduing monsters." The king said, "If you are a celestial warrior who has descended to earth, you must know very well the magic of transformation." "I shouldn't boast," said 8 Rules. "But I do know a few little tricks. Try to change into something for me to have a look," said the king. 8 Rules said, "Give me a subject, and I'll change into its form." The king said, "Change into something big, then." That 8 Rules happened to know 36 kinds of transformation. He stood before the steps and showed off his ability. Making the magic sign with his fingers and reciting a spell, he shouted, "Grow." He straightened his torso and at once attained the height of 80 or 90 feet, just like a pathfinding deity. The 2 rows of civil and military officials shook in their boots. The ruler and the subjects of the entire kingdom were terror-stricken. One of the palace guardian generals managed to ask, "Elder, when will you stop growing? Is there a limit to your height?" Idiot could not refrain from spouting idiotic words. "It depends on the wind," he said. "It's all right if the east wind is blowing, and the west wind is okay, too. But if the south wind rises, I'll bore a great hole in the blue sky." Horrified, the king said, "Retrieve your magic. I know your power of transformation." Squatting down, 8 Rules changed back into his original form at once and stood before the steps. "Elder," asked the king once more, "what sort of weapons do you intend to bring with you to do battle on this expedition?" 8 Rules took out his muckrake and said, "What Old Hog uses is a pronged rake." "That's shameful," said the king with a chuckle. "We have here whips, maces, gilt bludgeons, mallets, scimitars, spears, halberds with crescent-shaped blades, battle-axes, swords, halberds, lances, and battle sickles. You can pick anything you like and take it with you. How could you regard that rake of yours as a weapon?" "You have no idea about this, your majesty," said 8 Rules. "This rake may seem a rather crude instrument, but it is one that has stayed with me since my youth. When I was commanding some 80,000 sailors in the naval department at the Heavenly River, I relied solely on the strength of this rake. Now that I have descended to this mortal world to accompany my master, that which plows through the mountain dens of tigers and wolves, and overturns the water homes of dragons and snakes, is all the work of this rake?" Most delighted and reassured by what he heard, the king turned to some of his ladies in the court, saying, "Bring me my own special wine. Take the whole bottle, in fact, so that we can send the elder off properly." He then poured a goblet of it and presented it to 8 Rules, saying, "Elder, this cup of wine is for the labor you are about to undertake. Wait till you capture the monster and bring back our little girl. We shall have a huge banquet and 1,000 pieces of gold to thank you." Idiot took hold of the cup in his hands. Though he was a rude and rowdy person, he could act courteously when he wanted to. Bowing deeply to Tripitaka, he said, "Master, you should be the first one to drink this wine. But since it is the king who bestows it on me, I dare not refuse. Please permit Old Hog to drink this wine first. It should help inspire me to catch the monster." Idiot drained the goblet with one gulp before filling it again to hand it to his master. Tripitaka said, "I don't drink. You brothers may take it." Shamunk went forward to receive the cup, while the clouds sprouted beneath 8 Rules' feet and lifted him straight into the air. When the king saw this, he said, "So Elder Jew knows even cloud soaring." Idiot left, and after draining the goblet also with one gulp, Shamunk said, "Master, when that yellow robe fiend caught you, 2 of us could only battle him to a draw. If second brother goes by himself now, I fear that he may not be able to withstand him." "You are right, disciple," said Tripitaka. "You may go to lend him some assistance." Hearing this, Shamunk leapt up and left soaring on the clouds. The king became alarmed and caught hold of the Tang monk, saying, "Elder, please sit with us for a while. Don't you go away too, soaring on the clouds." The Tang monk said, "Pity, pity. I can't even move half a step like that." At this time, the 2 of them chatted in the palace, and we shall speak of them no further. We tell you now about Shamunk, who caught up with 8 Rules, saying, "Elder brother, I'm here." 8 Rules said, "Brother, why did you come?" "Master told me to come help you," said Shamunk. Highly pleased, 8 Rules said, "Well said, and welcome. United in our minds and efforts, the 2 of us can go catch that monster. It may not be much, but we'll spread our fame a little in this kingdom. Look at them." Swathed in hallowed light, they passed the kingdom's edge. Borne by auspicious air, they left the capital. They went by the king's decree to the mountain cave, to catch with all diligence the monster spirit. In a little while, the 2 of them arrived at the mouth of the cave and lowered the direction of their clouds. Raising his rake, 8 Rules delivered a blow on the door of the current moon cave with all his might. At once a hole about the size of a barrel appeared in the stone door. The little fiends standing guard at the entrance were so startled that they opened the door immediately and found that it was the 2 monks. They ran inside to report, crying, "Great king, it's terrible! The monk with a long snout and huge ears and the monk with the gloomiest complexion have returned and busted our door." Surprised, the monster said, "These 2 have to be Jew 8 Rules and Shamunk. I spared their master already. How dare they come back and wreck my door?" A little fiend said, "They must have left behind something and returned to get it." "Rubbish!" cried the old fiend. "You leave something behind and then you go and break down someone's door. There has to be another reason." He quickly put on his armor, grasped his scimitar, and walked outside. "Monks," he asked, "I have already spared your master. For what reason do you dare come back and break down my door?" 8 Rules said, "You lawless monster, you have really done something all right." "What?" asked the old demon. "You abducted the 3rd princess of the precious image kingdom to this cave and forced her to be your wife," said 8 Rules. "It's been 13 years, about time that you give her up. I have been decreed by the king specially to capture you. Go inside quickly and come out again after tying yourself up. That'll save old Hog from having to raise his hands." When that old monster heard these words, he grew enraged. Look at him. Noisily, he ground his teeth. Round and round, his eyes glowered. In fury, he lifted his scimitar. With bloody thought, he slashed at the head. 8 Rules stepped aside to dodge the blow and returned one with his pronged rake. Immediately, Shamunk wielded his precious staff and rushed forward to join the battle. This conflict waged on the peak was different from the one before. Truly, wrong words and irksome speech arouse one's wrath. Malice and rancor make one's anger grow. The scimitar of this big demon king slashes at the head. The 9-pronged rake of that 8 Rules confronts him at the face. Xiao Wujing unleashes the precious staff. The demon king parries this weapon divine. 1 savage fiend and 2 godlike monks move back and forth, taking their time to fight. This one says, "You defraud a nation and are worthy of death." That one says, You're wrongly indignant at someone's affairs. This one says, you raped a princess and brought her country shame. That one says, it's none of your business, so stop meddling. It is all because of a letter sent. That both monks and demon are not at peace. They battled for 8 or 9 rounds before the mountain, and 8 rules began to weaken steadily. He could hardly lift his rake, and he was rapidly losing his strength. Why couldn't he prevail against the monster, you ask? When they fought previously, you see, there were the Dharma-protecting deities who gave the disciples secret assistance because of the Tang monk's presence in the cave. That was why they fought to a draw. At this time, however, all the gods had gone to the precious image kingdom to guard the Tang monk, and the 2 disciples by themselves could not withstand their adversary. Idiot said, Sha monk, you come up and fight with him for a while. Let old hog go shit first. Not showing the slightest care for Sha monk, he dove right into a thicket of bramble bushes. Without regard for good or ill, without any concern that the thorns were pricking his face and tearing up his scalp, he rolled right inside and lay down, refusing to come out at all. Only half of his ear was left outside, so that he could hear the rattle and learn how the battle was faring. When the monster saw that 8 rules had run away, he went after Sha monk. Completely flustered, Sha monk did not even have time to try to escape, and he was seized by the monster and hauled back to the cave, where he was bound hand and foot behind his back by the little fiends. We do not know what will happen to his life. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.